It's time to get down to business on TK Business Live, brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association. Now, let's join Tara Dimmick, owner and publisher of TK Business Magazine, as we take a look into the business world of Topeka, Kansas.
Hi, and welcome to TK Business Live. I'm Tara Dimmick, and it is great to be with you this New Year's Day. I hope you're having a wonderful day with your family and friends, or if you're listening to us later, you're hearing us on YouTube. It's great to be with you. And we've got a great show coming up. I got Jared Beam joining me later on in the show with Briar Payne Mead to talk about insurance and some of the things going on. But before that, we have Cole Boling with the Boling Group joining us. And Cole is also a coach. And so I wanted him to come in, especially with it being a new year, and talk about what coaching is and talk about just the concepts that go into really creating a life and what he calls, he wrote in TK Business Magazine, what he calls a limitless life. So we will have Cole join us first, and then we'll get talking to Jared a little later. I have Cole Boling joining me with the Boling Group. He is the co-owner and CEO of the Boling Group. Welcome, Cole.
Thank you.
So Cole was recently in TK Business Magazine in our winter issue and was an expert in there talking about a limitless life. But before we talk about kind of the steps that you provided in the article, talk about what has created your life to talk about that limitless life. What have you done?
Well, first off, thank you for having me back again. This is always an honor. And also, thank you for having me in your magazine. That was truly an honor. So the whole article has come out of who I've surrounded myself with over the last, I'd say, 5 years. Keller Williams Realty is who we're associated with on an international level. Legacy Partners, Inc. is the company who we're with locally. It's all a Keller Williams franchise. However, the world that we show up into every day, per se, has people who think at such a high level that it just makes you say, wow, how do they do it? And it's empowered us to ask different questions than I ever had before. When this article came to life, it really turned into being about where we were to where we're going. And about a year ago, I made a commitment to my family, myself, my team, everyone, that I would show up prepared, fully prepared, mentally, always first. And what really came out of it was a motto that Keller Williams really lives by, and it's God, family, business. And people take it sometimes too literal. The God is not always just a religious thing. It's a internal feeling. It's being one with yourself first, because it's hard to have a balance in your family and hard to have a balance in your work life if you don't have a balance in yourself first. So really, it started with the mindset, and that's why it was number one, and it will always be number one in all the articles or anything I may ever do through my coaching, through anything at all. And getting a mindset right really allows everything else to fall in place a lot easier. The mindset is always the hardest and will always continue to be the hardest till we are no longer here.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the coaching, and Cole, you are a coach, so you can kind of speak to, what is it to coach? What makes that different, and how did you step into this coaching?
So it was always it's funny you asked this question, because it was asked of me recently from my coach, and I have multiple coaches. I have a master coach, I have a performance psychologist who's a coach, and I have all of my staff that I currently work with. And I am I'm part of an organization called MAPS. It's a Mega Achievement Productivity Systems organization through Keller Williams. It's the largest coaching company in the world. We have, as of today, hopefully we're getting ready to break the record, 4,000 current active clients in our company.
Amazing.
And what happened was when I was in sixth grade, I'll never forget this. I was an MC per se for like the talent shows, and I was always the one that did theaters and other type of speaking engagements. And I always said I wanted to be some kind of motivational speaker on stage, helping people at a high level. And as life has gone on, there's been multiple things that have shown up and given me opportunities, and they've all been kind of surrounded around MAPS coaching. And so I went to some classes and was talking to people, and ended up that maybe I need to go one-on-one helping people, because I have so many things in my head on a creativity side, yet I live very logically on the other side of the brain as well. And so what came to light was one-on-one over the phone coaching through organization. So I applied and went through a very tough process to get it, and I was very scrutinized at a high level. My numbers, they look at everything. And when I say everything, like we have to show up exactly how we were saying we were doing. And in turn, I was granted the honor of being a MAPS coach with Keller Williams International. I coach currently I have 23 clients across I would say probably 12 states right now. Texas is very heavy because that's where we're home based at. I've got clients in California all the way to Georgia, and I'll just tell you, it's the rewarding side of it has been tremendous.
Yeah, Cole knows this as well, but I coach, but I also have a coach as well, and truly believe in coaching. But I also see it, and I'd be curious what you might think of this, but coaching, whether you're being coached or whether you are coaching, this is like a journey piece, and the journey that you're on really is through the discovery you find out about others, and the discovery you find out about yourself as you're going through it, and how much you grow by being coached. And so you talk about, where you're headed, and it sounds like this is your journey to get where potentially you started in 6th grade planning for.
Yeah, there's two things that are really key here that I'd like to mention. The first thing is that there's a word that I'm living by right now, because you can get really bought into people, right? And you can get bought into them as a person, or you can get bought into them as their fluff per se, right? They tell you what you want to hear. It's the truth in the numbers. If you're watching what they're doing, it doesn't matter what business they're in. We could business coach at a high level. I don't care if you own a McDonald's franchise or a dog cleaning business. If the numbers are there and present, they won't lie on your results. One of the mottos that I'm living by right now at a high level is, we'll see. We'll see if it's true, right? And the fulfillment will come potentially, like you said, the journey could be forever. We could be on a journey for years and years, and I may never see how impactful my call with you just was. Mm-hmm. And yet I love when I'm on these journeys with these people, because they're teaching me so much about myself. And the second part is, people really think that coaching is a do-act process, and what I learned really early on is that nobody's going to do anything to you, right? The only thing that anybody can ever do to you is if they put a gun to your head and said, you're going to do this. Other than that, it's your choice where you go when you leave the door, right? It's your choice what you choose to take from a call. So what we had to get really good with, and what we are still going to have to always be great with moving forward, is just really asking great questions and watching their self-discovery. Words like, what did you hear me say, compared to, do you have any questions, is a heck of a lot more powerful in understanding where they are in their current situation.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Okay, so this is all kind of leading up to really some of your advice for what you're telling others to do so that they can live a limitless life.
Yeah, and right back to mindset. So all of my clients, no matter where they are in the world right now, tend to have very similar things going on, which shows that we as individuals in general have a lot that we are very similar about, yet we're very different, right? We all have different markets. We have different businesses. We have different mindsets, different lifestyles, yet we are all human beings. And one of the things that has grown out of the article around, setting yourself up, bringing value, never stop learning, I really want to jump to number 3, and that is the bringing the value. See, one of the key areas that we coach on at a real high level is how they're showing up in the presence of their clients. Are you showing up as somebody who tells them what they need, or are you showing up with somebody who's asking them what they need? And I'll use a great example. I went and looked for a TV last night, and I was looking at a TV, and the salesperson was like, oh, you need this TV right here. This is the best TV, no other TV, nothing. And I go, well, actually, I need it for a monitor for my computer. Oh, well, then you need that one over there, right?
And you never listened.
And guess what I bought? Nothing. Nothing. Because he wasn't the one that I wanted to buy from at that moment, right? And what we don't realize is we do that. We aren't showing up and asking them what it is about them, because we're thinking about what we're going to say next. We're thinking about what they need to hear without really knowing what they are wanting.
Yeah. What do they care about?
So it's bringing the value. I mean, we really show up every day at the Boling Group in our real estate business, and we still have a team. We have a growing team. We're hiring. We're bringing on talent all the time, and it's the way that we show up is every single time we are your resource. We want you to call us when you have an issue or need a plumber or need an electrician, because that's value. Why do you want to go online and try to find out if the review is real?
Right.
Go to the person who's probably using them a lot, and that's showing up a value. There's a whole bunch of ways, and these all tie in together. The value is where almost every one of my coaching clients have had such a hard time understanding why they're burning out, or why they're feeling I don't want to call them, or I'm annoying them. Well, you're only annoying them if you're asking for something.
Right.
And they're all asking, do you know anybody? You know anybody? You know anybody? And that's the same thing if you're in telemarketing, and we're always annoyed with telemarketers because they're asking for something from us. They want something from us. Yet, if somebody called and said, I just wanted to call you and say, is there anything you need? Do you need something? And maybe make it very specific. Your world will change. It will change everything.
No, that's really powerful just to think about that alone. If you just did that one thing, if you just switched your mindset from asking to giving. And this is a great time to start it, right? I mean, right around the holiday season, start giving right now. Nobody will be surprised by it. Surprised by it.
I did have a client do something recently that I think is just amazing. I have a client who she's had a lot of experiences in her life with trust and other people. Prefer mostly men, right? Or something along the lines of just human beings in general. Yeah, she runs a really great business, and she does it at a high level. And she was having trouble with herself. And so she asked for some suggestions. And I told her, I said, well, what would you like to do? She said, I just want to give back, and I want it to be something. And I said to her one day, I go, you know that the biggest gift you can give to somebody else and yourself is when you do something for someone that can never do anything for you in return. And so she and I came up with an idea, and more her. I mean, I don't show up. This isn't about me, and coaching is never about the coach. Yet we grow, we raise our lids in our thinking and what we do in our business. Yet she showed up, and her idea was she was just going to put a bunch of random money in envelopes and go to Walmart. And she was just going to sit on the bench by the bathroom and watch and see who was going through their purse or going and trying to figure out how they were going to pay for something. And she was just going to walk up and give them an envelope and walk away.
Wow, how
And I'm
cool.
like, whoa. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh, I can't wait to figure out how this goes for you. And then what happened was she got two in her head. And then it was, well, what if somebody jumps me? What if this? What if that? And yet, this is a coaching opportunity, is when you are getting too much in your head in something like this that's so great, where else are you getting in your head at that you probably shouldn't be?
Right, because if it happens in one spot, it happens all
everywhere.
over.
It's showing up everywhere. And she's showing up different.
Right.
And this is... And it was powerful, and we cried a lot, and it was very emotional. And coaching is emotional. It's not a weightlifting match. It's not a personal trainer. It's more of like, sometimes I laugh. It's like a drill instructor who is all they're shouting in your mouth, all they're shouting in your face is affirmations. I mean, and it's not even that we're shouting, right? We're a lot of times if she's calm, I'm calm. It's like, well, what are you feeling? You're great. You're awesome. You get somebody who has high energy. You're great. You're awesome. You're great. You're awesome. And sometimes they tell me that.
Right.
And it goes back to investing in yourself. When you invest in your own mindset through number one and through all of these and going on vacations and everything else that you should be doing, it's really getting you to trust in other areas and open your mindset to how can I help and service people. Zig Ziglar says it best, and it was a tragedy when we lost Zig, and he said it. You are paid in direct proportion to the value that you give to others. And when you get somebody that you're helping to understand that they are really valuable to people and get out of the mindset that they're annoying them, the world is, watch out. I'm getting out of the way because I don't want I don't want to be in the path of where they're going to go, yet I want to be right by their side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so what else? Any other tips or any of those that you want to pull out, or something maybe that wasn't in there that you feel like, man,
well, I mean,
Tara cut this. She really shouldn't have. That was,
well, the biggest thing is money. Let's talk about money and people's misperception of money. We kind of touched on it here, but it's just so hard to really get to. Here's what I'll tell you about money. Money is not the root of all
evil,
right? Money can be the root of whatever you fill in that blank with. Money makes the world go round in good and bad. Mm-hmm. St. Jude's Hospital runs on money, yet they're a nonprofit company and they do amazing things. We fight people all day long, one of my clients the other day was like, I don't need to make a lot of money. I'm not driven by money, right? We've all heard that. I'm not driven by money. I just work. Okay, so what about the things you want to have? Well, yeah, that stuff's, I like that idea. Well, how are you going to get that? Well, I got to have money. So really, you're driven by money, let alone it's not a superficial idea. We created a nonprofit charity. The charity is the Boling Group Smiles. The whole goal around that is for every transaction you do at the Boling Group, we donate at least $100 in your name to our charity. And then if somebody who has a kid who's going through something medical related eventually may need help, and they can come to us and apply, and then we could potentially give them a grant. It's a process, right? I want to make a lot of money to give back. On my wall, and believe it if you want, on my wall in my office is, I want to give $1 million away a year.
That would be amazing.
Now you have to make it.
You have
right?
to make it to be able to
and
get it.
And you have to keep it. So it's earn $1 million, net $1 million, give $1 million. Give it again to Uncle Sam.
Right.
I am more than excited to write a check for $1 million because I know if Uncle Sam tells me I need to write a check for $1 million, I'm probably going to be okay writing a check for $1 million.
Right.
Money is not evil. What you do with the money makes your soul a lot better when you are truly, genuinely giving it to somebody who can never give it back to you.
So how do you work with people when they have money stuff? Because there are so many things about money that are so ingrained. It's from their childhood, the way they were, the way they were raised, the way people around them talked about the money, the way people talked about people who had money or people who didn't have money. There's just so much energy put around money. Mm-hmm. So, just a quick, I don't know if you got one for me, but quick thoughts on how do you start digging at those things that you didn't even create for yourself. There's something you heard your father say or your mom say or
Absolutely.
Your grandfather say.
Well, it's not just that, right? It's all the things that you are programmed through your life. And if you take money, for instance, and we could go anywhere with this. If you take money, for instance, and you say, well, I was always taught that money was bad and it didn't grow on trees and all this, well, what did you see on the back end with that actual? Because words are one thing and actions are another. If your parents or somebody always said that, look at Warren Buffett, who has a lot of money, and he's probably ripped somebody off along the way, right? We've all heard, those top 1%ers are probably this. Well, the truth is that it's not necessarily them; it might be who was next to them mm-hmm. and who was after them that created that bad persona. So what we do is we just go deep and we say, okay, so in that situation, what do you remember? And then we go from what they remember to what came out of that. And what do you see now as an adult, knowing that when you're giving money for a good, that is really coming out of it. And the process, to answer your question, is just really analyzing where they're visioning in that moment. Because they're tying it for some reason to something else. Mm-hmm. And money is just, they have an experience in their past that is probably holding them down somewhere else, and it's probably not even the money. And if you're asking great questions, it doesn't matter if it's to your customers or if it's to your clients or if it's to people that you don't even know. If you're just a really good question asker, you're probably going to find out things about them that you may not want to know, yet it will probably help you make a sell or it make you help a client for life or a new friend.
Absolutely.
Or a spouse.
The spouses, they're nice to keep happy. Can you imagine if we just started asking questions to our spouses all the time?
They'd be annoyed. Yet they would understand where we're going because we've had conversations about it.
Right.
Yeah.
There'd actually be communication there. Okay, cool. So before I let you go, because we could probably talk all day, I think.
Sure.
What are some last thoughts? What are some thoughts about the Boling Group? What has made that successful? Where have you seen some of this coaching really come and nail it for you?
The coaching has its place. It's part of my world. It will always be part of my world and helping others. Yet the real estate is really where we're at, right? We run a real estate. We run a multifaceted real estate company. We are getting ready to open up our own Kansas City division that services all of Kansas City of Missouri. It should be opening within the month, first of the year. And really, what the business is. We can service in so many ways. We have a new construction division, and my father is a Mark Boling Construction, and he has a huge business in town. And with all of that, we have everything covered. Investors, if the market crashes, we have the ability to help you save your home from foreclosure. And we are completely prepared because with the coaching, I'm seeing others across the country doing it. So here's what I'll finish with. Make sure that when you hire a real estate professional, really understand how many options they can provide you, how many places that you can go with them to get a true answer, and what is their support system. Because with us, we have staff members, we have teams, we have virtual assistants, we have people doing marketing with us. We do marketing. We have a multifaceted business, like I said, and what it turns out to is the client's experience is for life. And we really have, where most of our business is coming from referrals, we still don't stop lead generating. We still don't stop looking for more people that we can help. And we really show up every day going, who can we help today? And we are probably one of the few agents who will fire a client. And firing people is powerful. We are hiring our clients. They're not necessarily just hiring us. It's a process. We want to work with you as much as you want to work with us. So just finishing up, the article, it's all about mindset. It's through every aspect of every business, and everything really in here touches on a lot of things. So that's probably my biggest thing, and I hope that it helps people, and I don't show up with any other intention of just providing an unbelievable experience for people and really loving the human being. And that's really where I think a lot of people are missing. So
amazing what it would be like if we all just loved each other just a little bit more.
I know, absolutely.
Spread the love. Okay, Cole, before I let you go, how can someone find more information about you if they want to sell their house or interested in those kinds of things? What do they need to do? Very simply, go to the website, thebolinggroup.com, THEBOLINGGROUP.com. It's a state-of-the-art website. You can do all kinds of things on our website, and our email address, just team at the Boling Group. You can get any of us, and then our team phone number is 785-260-0013. Thanks, Cole. Great to have you.
My name is Ken Daniel, and the name of my company is Midway Wholesale.
What is TIBA? TIBA is advice and support. TIBA is information and education. TIBA is a voice for small business.
It's amazing the changes that we've gotten made in state law to the point where we had a list at one time and it's just about finished.
The Topeka Independent Business Association is strong because of its members. Become a member today by visiting topekatiba.org.
I have Jared Beam joining me. He is with Briar Payne Mead Insurance. Welcome, Jared.
Hi there.
So we had Jared in TK Business Magazine for the winter issue. If you haven't checked it out, he's an expert in there talking about insurance. But one of the things you talked about was the difference between the hard market and the soft market. So briefly kind of share that.
Well, the hard market, every different kind of business has their flows of business. And in the insurance world, it's a hard market and a soft market. And like it said in the magazine, the hard market is you have less options and you're paying more premium. Soft market, the companies are making money via investments, so you have more options and your premiums are lower. Is basically that's it.
So what are businesses doing? You talk in the it's actually kind of funny. I had to laugh. Normally an expert, especially an insurance expert, doesn't come back as a funny piece. Like we don't have that happen very often. So it came back funny because you were talking about kind of the commercials and how you see that affect what you're watching on TV.
Yeah. Well, that's just being in the industry. I'm even kind of overseeing insurance commercials on TV. You can go through, like I said in the article, Peyton Manning Nationwide, Aaron Rodgers State Farm, You have the Gecko. You have Flo.
Yeah.
There's just everybody, farmers. I can't remember that guy's name.
I know.
He's the movie guy. But
He was like on Law and Order or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
And there's always, I see, and I remember all the time the weird accidents that they cover.
yeah.
Right.
And one of my favorites is Mayhem for Allstate.
Oh,
which,
I love
yeah,
Mayhem.
yeah.
He was one of my total favorites.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. They do a good job with them, but as you go through, I mean, just every other commercial is insurance, and you're like, why is that? Well, it's because we're in a soft market, and they have extra money, not extra money, but they have their investment money, and they're wanting volume. So to get volume, you're going to advertise. So they're willing to spend that money to get on the Aaron Rodgers and the Peyton Mannings and all of the cute little Geicos and the Flo and all that stuff to get the volume, get you in there. And then because most people will buy insurance and not touch it for 4, 5, 6 years.
Right, no changes.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. But they're trying to motivate you to move it. I mean, like I said, everybody wants to save you $300, $400, $500. Well, not everybody can do that. But where was I going with that point?
So one of the things I guess I would be curious about is how does the consumer deal with all that? They're getting all of this inundated with the commercials, but then they're also trying to figure out, okay, well, I can save money, so I should go do it. Is that really the best solution for them?
It is. I mean, the best solution is to go quote them all. I mean, get them all to look at your, when we're talking homeowners here.
Right.
And that's where we need to get. There's personal lines and then there's commercial. On the personal line side, go quote them all and see where they come in at, because you just don't know. It depends on your location. How far are you from a fire hydrant? What kind of house do you have? What's your driving record? All of those things factor in, and each company looks at them differently. So you definitely want to go out there and do that, but it's a lot of work because each company is going to ask you different questions, and you got to research and go get numbers, VIN numbers, and all of that stuff. It's a lot of work, and people are busy, and so usually the first or second one they hit, they're just they feel good, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to go with that.
Right.
And then you might be missing out on some savings.
So how does it work when somebody shows up at Briar Payne Mead? What are they looking for when they do?
Well,
go
Briar
through you
Payne
guys?
Mead is an independent insurance agent, so we have several markets that we can go to. There's other independent agents out there, but then like your State Farm agent or your Allstate, they can only sell you State Farm. That's it. And they do a good job. I mean, all of the companies in their niche are great. But so you walk in, we're able to get your information, and then we can send that out and do the marketing, do that work for you to get it to several different companies rather than you having to do that. So that's where we kind of, make it easier for you.
That's great. Okay, so tell me a little bit about how someone gets a hold of you, how they get set up, or where they can find more information about Briar Payne Mead.
You can go to our website, bpminsurance.com. You can call direct to me, 785-438-5321, or email jbeam@bpminsurance.com.
Awesome. Jared, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I love it.
Great to have you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us on TK Business Live, and thanks to our sponsor, the Topeka Independent Business Association. You can learn more about them at topekatiba.org. A great thing to do on the first day of January to get started with the new year. Some of the new things you want to do, some of the people you want to bring into your life. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Day, and I hope you have a prosperous new year. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining Tara and her guests on TK Business Live. Join us again next Sunday at 11:30 to hear more from our community business leaders, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in the landscape of how business is progressively moving forward in Topeka. TK Business Live is brought to you by the members of the Topeka Independent Business Association.